Hello world, my name's Nick360 and welcome back to Prison Architect. In the last week there has been an update to the console version of Prison Architect and I wanted to go over some of those changes today. And as always, when we want to find new stuff, we gotta research it first. And the new features is guard towers. A must in any kind of game is to have a guard tower where you can have guards sitting up above and they'll be safe. They won't be able to get into fights with the prisoners. And then they can shoot at the prisoners if they're causing too much of the ruckus. So while researching guard towers, I want to explain briefly how they work. Each guard tower requires a sniper, and that sniper needs to have a gun if they want to fire upon people. So in order for the guard towers to be effective, you need some kind of armory. So this prison has an armory down here. And so once you have an armory operational on the guard towers and snipers, then you can deploy your snipers around your prison. And the snipers will suppress the prisoners in that area. So it isn't a good idea to put guard towers everywhere because then your prisoners will be suppressed. So it's not a good idea to put guard towers everywhere if you don't want to suppress everyone. If you have a really intense prison like I do here, maybe putting guard towers everywhere is exactly the plan you want to have happen. So another feature that was added while we're waiting for guard towers to research is they did a new kind of visitation. So if we go to booth, there is now a visitor booth. The old visitation room is like this, where the prisoner and the guests of the visitor could come in to one room at the same time, just kind of sit across each other on a table. And that was effective. The problem with this is that it is a source of contraband. And if you go to intelligence and look at it, we can see that cigarettes, lighters, drugs, booze, cell phones, all the stuff that we don't want prisoners to really have in the prison is accessible through the visitation room. Also, they can set up ways for contraband to be thrown in over the walls. So unless you have a prison like mine where you have multi-layered walls so that nothing can really get thrown in, that's going to be another source of contraband, although that can just happen through cell phones. But I assume that the visitor table can do it as well. So we're just going to show that off by building a small visitation room right here. There we go, we have a little room now. Let's get our booth set up. Booth. And so you can see which side you want the visitor on and which side you want the prisoner to be on. So I want the visitor to be on this side and the prisoner to be on that side. So that's a room for two. We're going to need a door for the guests to get in. So I'm just going to, I'll do a normal door. So normal door here. And there we go. So now we have the new kind of visitation room. So now prisoners from anywhere in the prison can go walk all the way here into this visitation room and be able to talk face to face with the person of their choice. However, there's going to be a plane of bulletproof glass in between them, and so they're going to have to talk through a phone. And this is common in many real-life prisons, which is why they felt like it was important to put it in the game. Now, this will stop contraband from coming in. If we go to intelligence and dangers, this area is not a source of contraband. So drugs, alcohol, booze, nothing can get in. And that's good. And actually, we just saw a couple visitors come on in. So I'm going to deploy a guard. And as you can see, it's separated into two rooms. So I could make this shared, but if I wanted to, I could segregate it so that only max security prisoners. And so I could separate into different areas depending on security level. If I really wanted to make sure that the medium security don't mix with the high security, or much more likely is the protected only. Keep it separated from max and super max because protected custody is really dangerous. But we're not going to worry about that right now. I just want to put a guard in there so we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to put a guard in here because that's probably the fastest way to get a guard there. So now we have our two visitors for our two prisoners. Oh, actually, it blocks the vision. I didn't realize that. That's interesting to know. So you have to remember, and I just figured this out just by playing with this, is that you have to put guards on both sides if you want to see what's happening. But nothing really should be happening. Even if a prisoner starts having a fight, they're not going to be able to do that much because they will not be able to get through unless they break down the whole thing, which I assume is take a long time because, I mean, it is supposed to be like a wall. And they can't really break through the walls. So I assume that this is actually a pretty secure visitation room that will not allow contraband to come in. So that is the new visitation room. So it is great if you want to have a more secure prison like mine. So now this visitation room is now, I can remove it and replace it with visitation like this. And so I like that new visitation room style. I'm just definitely going to have to play around with it more. Just remember to put the visitors on the correct side, and you can clearly see because it's labeled. But now let's go back to guard towers. So we researched guard towers, and as you can see here, You need to have highly trained marksmen. Snipers will need to visit the armory to collect their rifle. Yep, I already explained all that. So let us build our tower. There it is, our guard tower. Alright, so let's put them periodically throughout this middle section here. This is probably overkill, but that's the whole theme of this entire prison, is just overkill. Yeah, that's, again, yeah, it's probably overkill. I just spent a lot of money on guard towers. But there we go, they have our guard towers, and so they'll make sure that anyone who escapes this here will probably not be able to get out these doors. And that was a problem in my escape mode tutorial, was that I was able to escape just by finding a set of keys. So, you know, you get some points by beating up the showers, get a set of keys. I could run through this whole prison, walk all the way up, and even though there's armed guards everywhere, able just to walk out these double doors. And again, most prisons don't have double doors. This is the theme of this prison is overkill. But now, these guard towers is 1, 2, 3, 4 guard towers, maybe even 5 depending on the range of visibility. I mean, sniper rifles are supposed to have a long range. So we're going to test that. So we are going to hire some staff, and now there's going to be a new staff member, the sniper, $500 a day, trains marksmen who will occupy an empty guard tower if available, will fire a number of warning shots, which is actually good. So you don't have to kill them right away, you can actually just fire warning shots, which will cause them to surrender. Because that's how the theme with guns, is that if you shoot a gun but you don't kill them, there's a very high chance that people will surrender. So we have a bunch of snipers. We're going to need to get a lot more, probably. And I have $1 million to spend, so even though I'm racking up a lot of debt, I don't care. Overkill. Remember, overkill. There we go. So now I have our sniper carrying a staff key and a rifle, and she is sitting on top of tower. Next door we have another sniper. Another sniper. I like how they're all Australian, like only Australia. Australia has the monopoly on snipers. No snipers are trained in America or in Europe or in Asia. No, they're all from Australia. Or at least it's the uniform. You have to dress in the Australian uniform in order to be a sniper. Maybe that's it. Instead of a monopoly on snipers, it's on a monopoly on sniper uniforms. And Australia has the international copyright law on on uniforms. I don't know. I find it super funny that they have the stereotypical look to them, but I love it at the same time. I completely love the way they look. And so in order to test out these towers, I need to escape, basically. And I don't know how to get the prisoners to escape consistently, so I'm just going to save this prison, and then we're going to escape from it very quickly. I can also, while I'm here, I was wondering if you could beat your way through the visitation room and escape that way. Because if you can break down the visitation booth and beat it up to destroy it so much that it's just nothing but a pile of ash or garbage, and you could just walk throughout the rest of the room, then that would be a big security problem. But I don't think you can do that. We can test that over here, and we're going to try and book it. But now we have guard towers, and so now booking it probably will not be an option in a prison with guard towers enabled. But before we try and escape, I wanted to do that test with the visitor room, so we're going to head that way and do that right now. So let's go to the visitor room. Talk to my visitor. Oh, there's a guard there. This doesn't seem right. I feel like this is a bug, because they're not supposed to be contrabanded, but apparently in escape mode there's still contraband in the visitation room. It's probably because it's just looking at the room itself. Also, there's just armed guards. Okay, so I'm going to try and punch this down. It is getting destroyed, but... Oh, you can! Okay, so you can. Now, let's see. They're training their lasers on me, and wow, in one moment, I just got shot and killed because I was escaping. Well, there you go. Booking it is now no longer an option. They're going to see you, they're going to look at you. I probably missed the warning shots because I wasn't really paying attention. So, and then, boom, and just like that, I'm dead in 5 hours and 11 minutes. So that's everything I wanted to see. I wanted to see, could you beat your way through those visitation rooms, and what happens to prisoners trying to escape with guard towers? And the answer is death. They will shoot at you dead if you're trying to escape. So I hope you guys learned something in this video. If you have any questions about Prison Architect or anything else, please leave a comment down below, and I will answer them in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!